Yes, I am live. Hello, everyone. Um, my son told me yesterday that I could actually see uh, the live on my phone, so I can actually check the. Um, hold on. Got playlists. That's not what I want. Maybe your videos. Oh, maybe live. Huh. I don't know why. I don't know how other people can see it then if I can't see it. Kubik, what are you doing here? You're not in camp? Okay, that's weird. I can't see it at all. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Because clearly I am streaming to YouTube because people can see it. But I can't see mine. No. Watch on TV. Oh, okay. I want to ask you a bunch of questions, but I don't want to dox you. But have a safe trip. I'm sure you'll have a really great time. Maybe view channel. View channel. Yeah. Okay. I want to ask you a bunch of questions. Okay, now I got it. I just have to keep it on silent and then make it bigger. Yeah, I don't know if anyone heard that. That sound is a siren that happens every year, and it's the anniversary of something. Um, so I live in Poland, and it's the anniversary of the Warsaw Uprising. So it happens every August 1st, but I completely forgot about it happening. So craziness. So someone came to watch, and then they were like, "You're not saying anything because you're not supposed to say anything. You're supposed to just be silent, and you're just supposed to be silent." And it is really like, oh, that's weird. I can see myself in the past. It lags a lot. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna start playing, and I'll check the chat when I can. Have a very good trip. Those of you who are going to camp, and those of you who are not. You know, life is very important. Living life. Okay, now I can see. So now I have a very easy way to... No, that's granite! Ah, why do I have granite? I have a very easy way to check my chat. But it's like the past. An eye on the past. You're welcome. Although I have to say, the chat is so small on my screen, and I'm blind. So and I was so my work has this thing where they'll refund you money for... Oh, that's a good point. I have to pay for something, but I forgot I was going to do it before I started streaming, but now I'm streaming. Too late. Anyway, my work has this thing where you can get refunds for glasses, but they are working remotely for most of the summer for reasons I won't go into. So I can't get glasses. At least not until the fall. For the end of summer. I have to... I'm sorry. I have to go to the other chat to see because I can't read that, but I know you said something. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I can see it. I'll know when somebody actually writes something. So it is progress. Back to work I go. Where's my Minecraft? Ah. Well, I won't notice immediately. I will be looking like randomly at it. Could put it in front of my face also. I don't know. Check in the stack. Check in the stack. There is a really weird delay, though, I have to say. Maybe it's just so if I say anything controversial, Twitch can stop it in time. It must be that. But I don't know. Or I don't know how that works, but I'm sure there is some kind of moderation like that. So thank you for everyone who joined the stream, even if it's one or two people. Can't really tell right now. That's okay. I will check what you said. There's two people. Well, it's us. It's us who are there. because you're one person, so you're talking, and it's me. So that's two people. I don't know. I don't think it's a weird theory. Maybe not for people who have like literally like, maybe not very small streamers, but people who are like um, much more popular and much more controversial. Maybe they actually have live people watching and moderating, as opposed to dead people watching and moderating, I guess. Do, 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 do. I didn't do very much of work today, and my hand hurts again. No! Bum, 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 bum. Ah! Why do I keep falling? It's weird. I'm hesitant to talk about work because I don't want to be doxxed, but I think I have never actually said in any social media where I work. Maybe my previous career, yes, because I was trying to get students, but my current career, I don't think so. And there's two very good reasons for that, but I'm not going to tell you. I will keep my secrets. Thank you very much. Okay, Jake said something about the delay. Oh, Kubik said. The delay is there because not everybody. No, I'm not going to say where I work. Don't worry. I did say accidentally something. Not everybody has 1,500 gig internet. Maybe you're right. Yeah, but it's such a big delay actually. So if you're playing with somebody, I guess you wouldn't have a delay when you're playing with the person. It's just when you're streaming it. But like, I don't know. I can imagine in a much more interesting game, or I guess Minecraft is interesting, but like if I was playing this in a much more interesting way, and there was like a bunch of people who were, I don't know, doing stuff all over the town, and the chat might say, blah 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 blah. They might be referring to something that I completely forget because the delay is so long. Hmm. Salmon. Oh, look at the fish. They're fighting down there. They're being all Riley. Riley? Uh, boisterous? Rambunctious? Enthusiastic? I gotta check what he said. Oh, now we have another person. Thank you for joining us. I also need to see how long I'm streamed for. It took me ridiculously long time to figure out how to watch the stream on my own YouTube channel. You know, I like to think that I'm still pretty technically literate, but I guess there's going to be a time. Although my kids don't think I am technically literate because they're all like, if we're doing something on the computer, they'll be like, let me do it. Which maybe that should tell me something that I'm not actually as technically literate as I think I am. Anywho. Oh, somebody said something I need to see on the big screen. Yeah, maybe. So Jax the Beast says, people have such cool names. How many days have you been placing blocks of dirt? Well, I don't know. I've been streaming every day for like a week, and I would say I am placing so about that long, but then before that I was collecting all of the blocks of dirt from, so this is an island, and I made this with help, a little bit of help. I made all of this oh, the gate is closed, open. I made all that, and this is the front part, I believe. And then on the other side, there was like a little mountain, which we destroyed, and we got all the dirt from the little mountain. So I'm using all of the material that I gathered to make my world flat. So I think the delay is not that long. I don't know. I can see the apple that I was. Maybe also it's just because it's not actually that big of a delay, right? Because I am streaming to my computer, and then my computer is sending it to Restream, and then Restream is like sending it to Twitch and YouTube. So, okay, it does make sense that there's a little bit of a delay. Ah! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh! Why am I not going up? Why am I not? Ah! Oh, that was too excitement. Too much excitement. Okay, I'll get rid of these 7 dirt blocks and then I'll see what you said. Is Jackson AMDC reference? What is an AMDC? I don't know what that is. Maybe somebody could tell me. Maybe you could tell me. Probably you'll be there soon, so they might not be able to tell me. So somebody else could tell me. So I told my friend, the friend that had a baby. So she texts me sometimes, and she said something like, she asked me what I was doing. I said, oh, I started to play Minecraft because my son got me hooked on Minecraft and we were streaming. And she said something like, oh, are you a big Twitch star now? And I'm like, define star. But I would say, no, I'm not. Oh, there's more. Okay, I'll check. Oh, amazing digital. Yeah. Yeah, I got the message before that. Bum, bum, bum. Resuming game. So I think 4 concurrent viewers on a stream does not make you, and when you're one of them, that does not make you a star on Twitch. Although maybe I am old, but I don't really understand the concept of being a streaming star. I guess it's just like there were people who were radio stars when radio was really big, so maybe it's like that. I don't know. I ran out of dirt. Let me see. Nope, we lost one. It's like, dirt is not that interesting. Well, I don't know who we lost though. Did we lose a hardcore fan of me placing dirt? Or did we lose a casual viewer who was like, no, I don't want you to be placing dirt anymore. No more dirt for me. I've had enough dirt. That is too much dirt. You know, I thought that I could take that much dirt, but I tell you, I can't handle it. I don't know. Ah! Oh, the sun is shining in my face because it's the weird time of day when the sun comes through the window. Because my apartment is weird because it's really bright in the morning and also really bright around um, now, which I do believe the world is round, but that's a good argument for it not being round, or at least maybe I don't understand. Or maybe the sun reflects, I don't know. I don't know what the reason is, but now it's in my eyes. That's that's a better. Oh. Yeah, of course dirt is very important. Dirt is the dirt of life. Without dirt, like, I mean, I was gonna say, what food wouldn't we have if we didn't have dirt? Um, and practically it's everything except maybe fish and seaweed. Um, but apart from that, like, because I was gonna say like onions and potatoes, but you know, every animal eats plants, right? So they all grow in the dirt. Yes, I've come upon a profound revelation, folks, that dirt is important. So, I mean, I will do other things in my world apart from just make the world flat. But I do have to get rid of all this dirt first. Got so much dirt. Ah. So I'm starting to feel a bit more comfortable when I go into the ocean, but not that much more comfortable. Although I think I literally, when we started playing this, I walked to the ocean. I was swimming, I think. Maybe we came by boat. I don't remember. It was such a long time ago. Such a long time ago now. I love getting wet. I mean, don't we all? I mean, I don't. I mean, it depends. In the ocean, no. No way. A bath, sure, but like in the ocean, it's full of, well, I don't know. The ocean is not the worst thing because you can walk in the ocean and the odds of something actually touching you that lives in the ocean are quite small. But like a lake or something, okay. I'm just going to check. I don't know if you're still there, Jake. Kubik. Well, why do I keep saying that? Probably you're not there. Or maybe you are. I don't know. It's hard to call someone something different, even though that is his name. And in fact, the name that I call him is probably harder to find him by. Do, 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 do. Yeah, so I have like these 3 weeks off um, at work. Not consecutively, but like in September, October, and November. So I might do like a 24-hour, like 24 hours of Minecraft, like, 24 hours of Le Mans. That would be kind of fun. I don't know if it would be fun, actually. I think I like the concept more than the actual doing the thing. Because, right now playing Minecraft for a few hours makes my arm hurt. So 24 hours would be rough. Rough, rough, rough. I'm going to check. Yeah, I think he's left. So that means there's one other person watching this, which is great. Thank you. So it's me and one other person. That's nice. Do, 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 do. Gotta pay my bills. I do have to pay my bills. Being an adult sucks sometimes. Especially since in this country, when you usually people want you to be they want you to pay your bills around the 1st, and they pay you around the 10th, which makes perfect sense, right? And the company I work for now is pretty good about paying on time. Like, I think that when they've been late, it's been like hours of the same day. And I don't know why that is exactly. I think it's about more the bank that you use rather than the company that's paying the money. But the bank that I used to use, not the bank, the company that I used to work for was this big English school in Poland. And I think that the COVID kind of destroyed them because they used to have one school here in the city where I live, and well, at their peak, they had two, and I used to work for two of them. And one of them, they were like a franchise kind of thing, or they wanted to make it like a franchise. So, they wanted to make it like a franchise. So they had like two. Yeah, and at the time they were like super like, oh, we're gonna put like schools here, we're gonna put schools here. I think they expanded to Hungary or something. So they were putting schools everywhere. Um, yeah, and the first school went bankrupt before COVID. Like they had maybe 50 schools, I want to say, at the peak. No, no, no. They didn't go to Hungary. That was probably the issue. One of the issues. They went to Ukraine. So, yeah, that was not the best decision, but how could you know what would happen there? So anyway, um, they were a super big school, and when I worked for them, especially before COVID, you know, they always had problems paying on time, which is like ridiculous. Especially because, if I can rant a little bit, usually in this country, for whatever reason, well, I think it's because usually teachers are Polish, um, and usually they work on an hourly basis. So companies don't want to give them regular contracts. So what they would do is they would force them to like have their own businesses, and that's how they would like say, oh, we don't actually employ anybody, this is like a contractor, because contractors have less rights than employees. So that's what they would do. But when you have your own business, you have to pay all of the like social stuff, and like there's different ways of getting around it, which is kind of ridiculous. Like at the end, I was there was like this business incubator thing, and basically you say, oh, we're being supported by this is like an idea for a business, and you pay less money for like all of the social like expenses that you would have to pay, because normally if you have your business, you have to pay as the business that, and then you have to pay like for your own as your own employee. So yeah, it's just a bit of a scam, that's all. Let's see if anyone's here listening to me rant. Well, someone is. Someone's here listening to me rant, so thank you. How do I eat the apple? I don't know. I don't know how to eat the apple, because I have a lot of food that I need to get rid of. Yeah, so anyway, um, not getting paid on time when you have to pay all your bills. So yeah, you have to pay all your bills like by the first, usually here, or shortly thereafter. Um, but they pay you on the 10th. So you can imagine if that's late, then, and especially with the government, you definitely have to pay before the 10th. So it's like, this is such a mess. They were very exploitive as a company. I think it's really surprising how exploitive, like, the whole English teaching profession is, because I guess they feel like, oh, these people aren't qualified. It's not like a real job. And I think, it's probably going to get worse with AI stuff. Um, it is a real job. It's hard work. People get better at it. People, you learn about things. I think people just assume because you speak a language uh, that if you speak a language, you can teach a language, which is not exactly the case. So if you're a good teacher, they don't value that. And I think in other countries, it's a lot different. I mean, like in Asia, they have this whole thing like, you know, um, people complain about it, but I think it makes sense where they will, because there'll be people from, I don't know, Poland or Bulgaria who will take English training and then they'll want to be English teachers. And they'll go to like Korea or Japan and they'll have problems because those schools will say, yay, those schools will say something like, yeah, well, you're not actually a native speaker, so we're not going to give you the same benefits that we would for a native speaker. And then you have people who are like, yes, I'm a native speaker, and they speak with like these really thick Russian accents or something, you know, because obviously being a native speaker doesn't make you a better teacher than somebody who isn't. But there are advantages to being a native speaker of English. So anyway, my point was like they'll look at your passport, like if you have a Canadian passport or an American passport or a British passport, and they'll be like, yeah, you are great. And I think, well, I know one of the school I taught for a year in Korea, South Korea, and this is many, many years ago. But the school that I was teaching at, they made this. Uh, they generally wanted to hire Canadians, and so they found like three of us, and then they ran out of Canadians, so they got like a New Zealand person and somebody from Ireland. But yeah, one of those Canadians was, I think, probably like a criminal, to be honest. So yeah, but I guess my back to my rant about this country. Like in Korea, they would give you like housing and then a very good salary, like a good salary comparable to like a good salary in, back home. And so you can make a lot of money if you don't go out and don't do anything because all of your expenses are covered. Um, but the situation isn't housing isn't great. Like there were cockroaches and stuff. Yeah, but anyway, in this country, they don't really see much difference between, like, they advertise native speakers, but they don't see much difference in actually how they pay them, which is another really weird way. Like, it's weird to put native speakers on a pedestal, but it's weird to say, well, you know, we're not gonna pay you more because you're not worth any more. But then why are you advertising me, right? Strange. And somebody from my current job asked me like if I wanted to go back to being a teacher someday. And I was like, good question. That's Minecraft, by the way, not here. Um, it's a very good question. Because um, it's hard to say. Because I like my current job. I like my current company, even though that there are problems with it. Um, but it's definitely a more secure thing than what I had before. And I think it takes like a special kind of personality to succeed at that. You need to be like super gung ho, super enthusiastic. Like, and I can be super gung ho and enthusiastic, but like, also you need to be that for securing clients. So you need to have like this really good salesmanship. And if I had really good salesmanship, if you have that, then you can do other things. You don't need to be a teacher, you know, because generally teachers have the same, like second language teachers have the same drawbacks as other teachers, right? What if I'll get struck by lightning in Minecraft? Yeah, it's certainly not the worst job I had, but certainly not the best. And I think probably for too long in my career, I thought that that was the only job that I could get here, which was a mistake because there are countless jobs in this country that you can get as long as you are a little bit qualified for them. Oh, I'm such an oh, I jinxed it. I said I was in a groove, and I was not in a groove at all. I was in the opposite of a groove, an anti groove, like the anti life force. Okay, I'm gonna put this stack down and then I'm gonna check the chat, even though I know that there isn't anyone chatting because I can see, but I will check how many people are watching. That'll be fun. Seeing if there's anyone there watching me ramble. But what I'm quite surprised, maybe not quite, a little bit surprised by, is that so on my YouTube channel, the people actually watch the streams later. Somebody's still here, which is weird, which is strange. It's very strange. Yeah, anyway, tomorrow I'm going to go bird watching. I don't know where I'm going to go yet because I want to see storks because they're a very common bird here in the summer. Um, but and there are these black storks, which there are, I think, 100 or so of them in Poland, which would be cool to see, but those are protected. But the white storks are not protected. There are thousands of them. So, and they're in the countryside. And when you're traveling on a train, for example, you can always see them, or you're like in a small village, you can see them. So they're a very common thing in Poland. But since I've been bird watching, since I started bird watching like a year ago, over a year ago, I haven't actually seen them. So they're not on my list. So it would be great if I could see them. Then on Sunday, I'm going to go watch Fantastic Four with my other child. I think that will be fun. I don't think the movie will be as good as Superman, but we'll see. Although I think people really like Superman, and it's a fun movie. Um, and I'm not a big Henry Cavill fan, so that's not my problem with it. And there are problems with Christopher Reeve Superman. I haven't seen the later ones, but I mean the original one. Like some of the special effects don't hold up at all. And uh, strangely, I think, I mean, I haven't seen it recently, but I think the best Superman I ever saw was the Return, Superman Returns. And the reason why it's so good is because it's basically like set in the Christopher Reeve version of Superman. Um, it's a different actor, obviously, but it's the same character. So, but it's just sort of kind of a soft reboot of it. So it's not dark, and it also doesn't seem very like James Gunn. Although James Gunn makes good movies, like for sure. But I don't know. I think I had like really high expectations of it, and like I would say it's like a 7 out of 10 for me. Fun movie, but like not the best Superman movie. Like I really disliked what they did with his Kryptonian parents. Um, they do handle it a lot better than Smallville, though, which I'm currently binging, and I'm on season 7. And in Smallville, his parents are these like disembodied. Well, his mom is like, I mean, obviously Krypton is destroyed in any version of the comics or whatever you want to. I mean, I suppose there is a version where Krypton isn't destroyed. Anyway, but what was I going to say? Yeah, so basically, Jor-El is this disembodied hologram in the Fortress of Solitude, and he has like weird powers. You know, he can remove Clark's powers and stuff. It just seems way too magical for me. Not that Superman is super realistic, but you know. Oh, I'm out of dirt. I must go and get some dirt. Doo dah, doo dah. Can't the ladies sing this song? Doo-dah, doo-dah. I don't know where the gate is. Doobie-doobie day. Here it is. Very important. Closing the gate behind you. Especially when the world is on fire, as it is. Yeah, so Smallville, very weird. Very weird show, Smallville. Oh, I could talk a lot about Smallville. But I'm going to be streaming for another hour maybe, and then I'll watch Smallville, so I think I can talk about it. So Smallville's weird because it does have a lot of the things that happen in Smallville do kind of happen in the comics, but they have this rule like no flights, no tights. So basically that means that he, like Superman, is never shown flying and never in his costume. I'll put my very minuscule sand and leaves in there. But they'll show, so Clark will wear like red and green, not red and green, red and blue, obviously, all the time. So he'll wear like, it just looks dumb. And it's like, yeah, we know what you're doing. So maybe don't, you know, like, why do you feel the need to do that? I don't get that. Need more sand. I need to put the glass in all one place. Yeah, I got a lot more sand. Is that sand though? Yes, that's sand. And so there's also characters that will form the Justice League eventually. And there's problems with the Arrowverse, right? But the original first seasons of Arrow show how cool a hero with arrow-based powers can be, and much better than Hawkeye. But in Smallville, it's like ridiculous how bad he looks. And then he says he's supposed to be like funny, but he's not actually funny. He's just saying things that you're supposed to find funny, and you're like, not funny. Not funny at all. And also, they do this weird thing where, I mean, sometimes it really works, but they'll do this weird thing where someone will say something and then it doesn't matter. Usually it's to Clark, but it could be also to Lex. Like Lex's dad could say something like really hurtful and cutting. Oh, it's all granite. Oh, that's dirt. That is dirt. And dirt. Dirt, 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 dirt. Okay, got dirt. So anyway, I didn't finish my thought. So they'll say something like, Clark will say one thing, And then Lex will say another thing. And then Clark will be, yeah, you're right. But he won't say you're right or anything. He'll just look meaningfully. I gotta get rid of all of my dirt now. I gotta find dirt. Is there any dirt here? There's no dirt there. I think there'll probably be dirt over there, but let's see. All of this used to be the sea. Oh. I forgot about this part. Well, I'll come back and fix that and that someday. Yeah, so sometimes it works because, Clark, he is Superman, so he shouldn't actually argue with people who are telling him the truth. So he'll be like, yes, I agree. Um, I'm out of dirt there. Wow. Okay. On a mission to find more dirt. So yeah, back to Smallville. So Smallville, it's basically the story of Clark Kent and Superman's early life, and he's adopted, and his parents just find him in this field, and for some reason, the show starts like he just discovers. Well, he always know like that he discovers that he has powers, and he's hiding them from his parents, but his parents actually know he has powers. So it's very, very strange. That's weird. And they do this thing where Clark will want to do something, and his adopted dad will be like, "No, no, that's a bad idea because it's a bad idea." And it doesn't really matter what Clark says; it's always the reaction. So that's strange. I think I went all the way around now here. Maybe I didn't actually. I think I did. Yeah, I did. Wow, so I am out of dirt. But I have a lot more on the outer walls, I'm sure. Let's see how much I have here. No, not much at all. Not much dirt. Not much dirt. Oh, yeah. Okay, this is where the dirt is. Yeah, a little bit more dirt, I would say. Oh, maybe open it. Go in. We're gonna go in. 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 Fine. Be that way. Yeah. So basically, the show was on for like 10 seasons, and in um, the first seasons, it was very like Monster of the Week, kind of like Buffy, and they even rip off one of Buffy's best. I'm not sure which came first, but there is a an episode where uh, there's an episode where um, oh no, just check the chat. Do. Yep, still the two of us, whoever it is. Um, yeah, there's an episode where uh, there's an episode where Buffy is in a. It's a really good episode of Buffy, and well, maybe not obviously, but I think the first 5 seasons of Buffy are by far superior than Smallville. But um, the episode in question, if I can concentrate and not die here, the episode in question uh, involves Buffy, who is this vampire slayer, being in a mental institution because, she's deranged and nothing has actually happened. Uh, and in the end of the episode, the way it's done is really well done because you can choose to believe that that's actually the case, that she has had a breakdown and all of this is her imagination, or you can choose to believe that the story of Sunnydale is actually true and all of that. I think the problem with Smallville is that uh, one, it's not as well done because I don't think that Tom Welling. Well, I don't think it's his fault because Tom Wellington was never given much to work with as Superman. There was no ever any development in his character. He just stayed the same throughout 10 seasons. So his acting is just yelling. Um, so it's not a very good episode, yeah. What else to say? And generally, the biggest problem with Smallville is when you watch it back, like you binge it. uh, It's a show. It's a show that existed before binge watching, right? So when you binge it, it becomes glaringly obvious that they keep on saying that Clark was being dishonest and he was lying, and that's what that's why Lana went to Lex because Clark wouldn't be honest with her, and it does not make much sense at all, actually, because Clark never lied. He just didn't tell the whole truth, which in his case wouldn't be a very reasonable thing to do. And like they don't have any conception that people might have secrets, like you don't need to know all of the secrets of your friends to be friends. Like in there's no rule that you need to be 100 and completely, 100% completely honest with your friends, because in this case his secret is that he's an alien from another planet who remarkably looks exactly like a human being. So that's a pretty acceptable secret to keep, especially when one of those friends decides to run a bunch of tests on him to see if he, what's his deal, basically, and tries to turn him into a lab rat. And then when his friend says, "Why are you doing that? You got to stop." He promises his friend that he's going to stop. And then later, their friendship ends because Lex Luthor, doesn't stop being obsessed with Clark's origins, right? So basically, if we if we think about this as a different kind of story, like not a story about an alien boy, but maybe like a story about somebody, uh, I don't know, who was abused or traumatized by someone and they didn't want to talk about it for whatever reason, you know, maybe there's like a therapeutical, you know, a reason to not talk about it. And, I mean, maybe there's a reason to go to therapy and talk about it, but like you can't expect your friends to tell you all of that stuff, right? So it gaslights. I think that's my main problem with Smallville is it just basically says via writing that yes, Clark did these horrible things to these people. And even so, he has this friend that they invented for the show named Chloe Sullivan. And him and her and Clark, so she has this huge crush on Clark, and she's had it for quite some time. And she she decides that she wants to go to this dance with him. And he thinks about it. And then he says yes. Um, so they start dating a little bit, they kiss, and then she freaks out because she's like, yeah, maybe this isn't right. Maybe this isn't going to work. I don't know. I don't feel confident in myself. And so she tells him, quote, maybe we should break up. And she's expecting him to be like, no, no, let's work it out. But basically, he is such an understanding guy that he's like, oh, okay. Because it's not like he really likes her. He really loves her in his way. And he was like, yeah, that might work. Let's try this. Right. But she was like, no, 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 no. Let's not because of my insecurities. So, anyway, so they broke up on her request. And then somehow later in the show it's like, oh, you did it, you broke up with, you did this horrible thing. Meanwhile, it's not horrible to break up with somebody if you don't feel comfortable with them. But anyway, she broke up with him. So that's weird. Another weird thing is they don't age, right? um, and they're supposed to be in high school, and Tom Wellington, he uh, well, I guess they do age actually. So he was 25 when he started uh, playing Clark, and so he's a 25-year-old playing a 13-year-old, and all of the high school students are, adults, which Buffy has that problem too, and a lot of shows at that time had that problem. So yeah, it's a wild show. And so his love of his life is Lana Lang, and she's presented as this girl next door, and it's presented like, oh, it's all Clark's fault that they can't be together because he can't tell her her secret and he's being like dishonest with her. And she uses that, as I said, to go get with Lex. Um, and then she finds out that Lex is like 1,000 times worse. Um, yeah, but then after Lex, she has this heel turn when she gets with Clark, and that's so. Before that, I was like, "Oh, I hate her. I hate her. She is like the character I hate the most in television history." But after the heel turn, I mean, it's not a heel turn. Like she's trying to be so-called like good, but she tortures people. She's not sure of how she feels, and she doesn't blame Clark for everything, which is great. Although they do have this one moment where she's like, "Oh, how do you know how it feels to wake up every morning and the person you're in love with is disappointed with you every single day?" And then Clark's like, "Listen, babe, you got your own problems. It's not me." Got a bot. And I think the character that they really did the worst is Lex, because basically they start out by being like he doesn't want to be like his dad, he wants to be a better person. And this is literally what happens. He has a dream in which his mom, who had died, comes to see him and says something like in the dream, "I'm going to show you what happiness is," something like that. So he imagines he is with Lana, and this is like the first time that whole thing happens. So he imagines he's with Lana, and it's really weird that he would go after the love interest of his ex friend, but anyway, he's a little bit obsessed with Clark. So yeah, he has his mom says, "Oh, this is what happiness is," and they have a child, and they didn't take any money from his dad, so they're middle class, and they're driving to the hospital. And it's really really sweet moments, and basically Lana dies in childbirth, and Lex is like in his dream, and he's like, "What is this?" And his mom is like, "First of all, this is not anything that's going to happen. It's a dream." And his mom is like, "Yes. So sometimes bad things happen to people, but you can still be happy." And Lex is basically like, "No way, Jose. Screw that noise. No way." He's like, "I'm going to be evil from now on." And that's basically why he turns evil, which is craziness. You know, you turn evil because of a dream in which a person you're not even in a relationship with dies. Like I had a dream this morning um, that I was in this place. Well, first I was late to work, and then I went to work, and I saw my boss, and there were insects crawling all over the place, and I was like, "I can't stay here." So I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna go home, and I'm gonna try and, you know, uh, I'm gonna drive back really fast and, uh, you know, make it in time to work, or so I can work again." And then anyway, so I'm driving to work really fast, driving home from work really fast so I can, work from home. And there's one of these bridges that, goes up like this to let boats go by. So I as the reasonable dream person I was, I basically say, I put my foot on the gas, and immediately I knew there was no going back, and I'm like, I can't make the car go faster. I'm gonna actually die because the car is falling into the river. And yeah, that's when I woke up. So according to Smallville logic, then I should be like, happiness doesn't exist. It's a lie. So yeah. Um, I have a lot more dirt. Yeah, there's good things about it though. I think the character of Lionel, like the actor, is really great. The problem is that they got all of these actors when they were quite young, and sometimes the writing is good, sometimes the directing is good, but generally they kind of are wasting everything. Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine. So yeah, all of that was just to say that I like Superman. I like the character, and I'm trying to watch all of this stuff um, that's connected to his, you know, all of the TV shows where he's a character, like the animated movies and stuff. And some are really good. Like Reign of the Superman was pretty good. Also, what was that called? Superman versus the Elite was good, although the drawing in that is weird. Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine. Yeah, I can't wait till I watch like Lois and Clark because I actually watched that when I was a kid. So I'm curious if it holds up, although I guess it's more of a soap opera. Although I don't know why they think Superman has to be like a soap opera to be interesting on television. Oh, yeah, I did watch also because they have Lois and Clark, which is from the early 90s or mid 90s. And that was like a big budget sort of production, at least in the beginning. And that replaced a show called Superboy, which was low budget, but like people really liked it. But they were like, no, we can't have this low budget stuff on television. So I want to watch that. And I watched Superman and Lois, which had very good reviews. Um, but it's weird because I don't know why they can't make Superman. They don't do Superman correctly on television generally. Like the ending of Superman and Lois was, or is it Superman and Clark? No, it's Superman and Lois. is so bad. So this is a spoiler warning if you don't want to listen to this, if you're a fan of that show or you want to watch that show. Is there anyone here to be spoiled too? Yeah, there's someone here. Yeah, so the um so basically in and Lois, Superman and Lois move back to Smallville, and they do this because they have children, which is a weird thing because it's like a plot point in Smallville that it's impossible because of Superman's unique abilities for him to have children. Um, and eventually his children get his powers, and one of them has like a really hard time with it. I forgot what their names are. So they're twins, and the other, and it's just pure bad writing because like the first two seasons had, I think, really good writing, and then in season 3, I think they give the other kid powers, and it's just like there's no growing, there's no growth, there's no struggle. He's just good at everything. And then when you hear reviews of it, it's like yes, yes, they're both different, and he didn't have any problems, and it was just like literally no problems. Like it's not that he adapted better, it was like literally no problems. So it was very strange. But anyway, so uh wow. It's really hard to quickly summarize the events of that show. And it's much easier to summarize the events of Smallville so far because, the events actually aren't that important. Whereas in Superman and Lois, it's really one of the most important things. But anyway, um, so basically, in Superman and Lois, Lex Luthor is more of a sadistic criminal mastermind. Well, he's not even like he's a criminal mastermind, but he's not like a scientific mastermind, like in a lot of iterations of the character. And to give the show credit, that version of Lex Luthor is like the scariest version ever. Um, I think that the version in the new Superman is like really, really good, but but it's more of like the archetype. And this is like a completely unique take on the character, which is really, really great. But anyway, he has this guy that he works with, and the guy is working on some kind of formula or something. And so there is another version of Superman from Bizarro World, which is just that's a whole plot point, Bizarro World. Um, so there's another version of Superman, and he looks very strange because he's addicted to kryptonite. And so he goes into our world, he's like a hero or whatever, and then he's like the big bad. But then Lex captures him and kills him a bunch of times, and every time he gets reborn, he gets stronger and more violent, which is basically like it's Doomsday. So Bizarro Superman turns into Doomsday. Yeah, which is weird, but um, so anyway, Clark fights with Doomsday, because Doomsday, I guess, Lex trains Doomsday to hate Clark, and they have this huge fight. And yeah, the ending is, so why is the ending crazy? So the first part is that after it becomes quite pathological, Clark's obsession with hiding his secret, and eventually people find out about it. And I think it's handled a little bit better because people genuinely like Clark, but they know that they'll never be as close to him as they could possibly be. And they're not like accusing him of being a monster because he's secretive about something. So, but when it becomes obvious that he can't hide anymore, he says his secret, right? Um, but then, so yeah, anyway, he dies, and to save him and bring him back, his father in law, which is craziness. This is like 30. There was a movie with Will Smith called 33 Pounds or something, where the guy commits suicide by jumping into a tub with full of jellyfish because he wants to donate his heart. So that's basically that type level of plot, which is crazy enough. But the problem is, so that means Clark is now mortal and he ages like a normal person, which is fine. You know, that can happen. Although I think I like the idea of an immortal Superman better, because how do you keep caring about humanity when you live forever? Um, but yeah, so he's on his deathbed, and this is like the most ridiculous part. He has like this vision of all of his friends, and like he's seeing the future of his children, although it's a deathbed thing. So he's in heaven, but he can see the future. It's really weird. And like he he sees, I think, his Kryptonian parents, but he doesn't see his like adopted parents because they ran out of money. It's weird. It's such a bad ending. But I liked the Lois that they had in there, and some of the shots in that show were pretty amazing. Okay, I think after this one I'm gonna finish because my hand hurts. My hand hurts. I think I have a lot more dirt also, but I don't think I'm gonna get through two stacks, two complete stacks of inventory of dirt. Oh, well, I don't have that much more, but still. My hand hurts. Well, I hope you liked my regaling you with tales of Smallville and other uh, Superman things. Thank you for everyone who watched and everyone who will watch the stream in the future.